Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I focus stack the image that we edited in the previous video from last week. So if you haven't watched that video already, I'll leave a link in the description below. But anyway, I'm going to keep this one really short, so let's jump right into Photoshop. So as you can see right now, this is the image that we edited in Adobe Lightroom last week. And what we're going to do is we're going to get this image and this image, we're going to combine them together and do a focus stack. Now, as you can see right now, this image doesn't have any of my current edits in. So if we just go into the library tab, and what we'll do is we'll use Control or Command on our keyboard. We'll highlight both images. We'll come down here and click Sync Settings. Make sure everything's on, even the masking, because we did do some masking in this. Make sure the crop's on, so it crops the image to the exact same dimensions. Press Synchronize, and then it'll just take a minute while it does the masking. And now if we go into the develop module, this is the one we edited last week. And this is the other image. So as you can see, they both line up really well. So what we can do is we'll take these now and we'll dump them into Photoshop. So the best way to do this is if you go back to your library tab and highlight both images that you would like to edit in Photoshop, come down to Edit In and click Open as Layers in Photoshop. And what that'll do then is that'll bring both images into Adobe Photoshop and have them on as two separate layers in one file. So now we're in Adobe Photoshop, and as you can see in our layers tab here, we've got both photos that we've just imported from Adobe Lightroom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disable the visibility on the top layer for now, just while we're working on this bottom layer. And as I mentioned last week, I sometimes do a little bit of cleanup in Photoshop rather than doing it in Adobe Lightroom. So I'll just quickly go through what I do. So what I usually use these days is I'll use the AI remove tool. And if we just zoom in on this bit of sheep's wool here, this tool acts like a bit of a brush. So as you can see, you can change the size. And what you do is you just brush in and you'll see it starts to highlight. And once it's highlighted, if you just press enter, give it a moment and boom. And you can't really tell like that anything was removed from there. I do think this tool is really powerful at the moment. I use it in my freelancing work quite a lot as well. But yeah, so that's how I remove bits of debris, or if you've got any sensor dust in your photo, that tool is really powerful. And I just find it works better than the one in Adobe Lightroom. This one seems to be more powerful for whatever reason. So now that we've got our image ready, what we want to do is we want to create a focus stack by masking in the top layer. So I'll just show you the difference between a focus stacked and a non-focus stacked image. So if we just zoom in here, so if we turn the top layer off, you can see that the lighthouse is quite blurry. It doesn't seem to have much detail in the image there. And if we turn the top layer back on, you can see that the windows are a lot more defined. There's a lot more detail in the lighthouse and stuff. So that's why I decided to focus stack this. Because I was focusing so closely on the rock, it meant that the stuff that was in the distance, where the lighthouse and the island, was a bit more out of focus. So if you focus stack, this is how you get a nice plane of focus throughout your image. So what we want to do, we want to click this top layer and we want to create a layer mask. So at the moment, with the mask being white, the top layer is still visible and we can't see what's below. So if you press Command I or Control I on your keyboard, that will invert the mask to a black mask. And now what's happening is the image on the top is being fully masked out, and we can just see the original bottom layer. So what we want to do now is we want to take a white brush. If you press B on your keyboard, bring up the brush tool, set it to a white color, and you just want to start brushing in. And as you can see, it's starting to bring in the image from below. So yeah, if we just zoom in now, we can see that we've got the sharper version of the mask. And if we turn that on and off, you can see the difference between the sharp and the non-sharp version of the lighthouse. But as we come down to the rock, you can see as I turn the layer visibility on and off, it's not changing. Because this image has such a defined cut-off line with this cliff, basically what I want to do is I just want to make sure that it's only everything after the cliff that we're bringing in from the top layer, and everything else down that's covered in the red at the moment, that is the original file. And if you want to be able to see the masking that you've done, if you press Shift, Alt, and then left click on your mouse, it brings up the layer mask, and you can see then the overlay of what you've masked in and what's not masked in. So anything in red is not masked in, and everything that you can see there is what we've got on the mask. And so yeah, that's basically it. It's as easy as that, really. Obviously it can get a bit more complicated if you've got more than one image in the focus stack, depending on how complex your image is. You might have 2 or 3 different focus stack images and you have to like blend that in together. And obviously if there's a bit more movement or different terrain in there, it can get a little bit more tricky to mask. But with this one, because there's such a defined edge, it's pretty easy to mask out. But yeah, it's as simple as that, really. If you've got any more questions, do let me know in the comments below. If there's any other tutorials that you'd like me to do on the editing side of things, let me know as well. Any comments down below are appreciated. I'm still trying to figure out what videos I want to be doing on this channel, so yeah, any feedback is much appreciated. I know it's a bit funky at the moment with there being some van videos and photography videos, but the main focus of the channel is going to be photography adventures, photography editing, things like that. I'm just building the van at the moment on the channel just because I feel like it does tie in, and then the van is going to feature in the adventures as we go forward. So yeah, I know it's a bit different at the moment and there might be like 2 different audiences in here, but I do feel like there's quite a lot of overlap between like going out on adventures and landscape photography. So yeah, that's where I'm trying to take the channel going forward. And as I mentioned last week, I do run a Discord community for creative freelancers, and I was a bit unsure how I was going to get people to be invited without giving the link publicly, just because basically I don't want non-creatives and non-freelancers to join, so it is just for freelance creatives. So if you'd be interested in joining that, follow the link in the description to my Instagram, drop me a DM and I'll send you the invite link over for that. We've got over 200 members in there now, so it's a nice little community of freelancers, loads of knowledge in there. So yeah, if you're looking for a community of freelancers, yeah, just hit me up in the Instagram DMs and I'll send you an invite link for that. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one.